Whether you love or hate Valentine's Day, one aspect I truly appreciate is the opportunity to recommend some great romances. And rather than doing a typical list, I'll be chatting about the perfect movie to watch on V-Day for specific kinds of people. Single, newly dating, and a few others. Here's the Valentine's Day watch list. Let's have some fun. First is for those who recently started dating someone. I'm going with an older flick that doesn't just hold up extremely well, but has all the comedy and energy a new couple may love. And that's the 1990s classic 10 Things I Hate About You. Loosely based on the Shakespearean play Taming of the Shrew, 10 Things has similar plot elements as other romances like She's All That and Can't Buy Me Love. Yet I think this specific kind of high school flick is at its peak here. Romances live or die on their leads, and Julia Stiles and Heath Ledger offer terrific chemistry. I fully buy them when they're prickly towards each other or falling head over heels. It does contain the typical scene where the lie is revealed, but instead of killing the pacing like a monologue in Barbie, it lasts just as long as it needs to. The drama also leads to a pretty incredible performance by Julia Stiles. So the leads are great, but they also have great things to say, as the script is surprisingly witty. The runtime just flies by, and that energy I mentioned earlier is present from start to finish. The music, the editing, the cute nods to Shakespeare, Joseph Gordon-Levitt at peak adorability, and the party scene all add to this feeling that the film is bursting with life, and is inviting you to join in the fun. 10 Things I Hate About You is tender and funny, dramatic and clever in all the right amounts. An ideal casual watch for new couples to enjoy.
Something real. Something no one else knows.
Okay. You're sweet. And sexy. And completely helpful me.
You are amazingly self-assured. Has anyone ever told you that?
I tell myself that every day, actually.
Next is for those who have been dating for a long time, and what instantly springs to mind is the underrated romantic comedy, Enough Said. This is one of the final performances by James Gandolfini, and apparently he was quite worried about his performance in this kind of role. Well, let me say that concern was unfounded, because both he and Julia Louis-Dreyfus are fantastic in this. Pretty much immediately, these two characters hit it off, but not based on looks, but in their rapport. It's a wonderful feeling to discover someone who can match you in conversation, who shares your sense of humor, and who you can bounce jokes and ideas off of. It's a spark. The film isn't about two people trying to be together, but rather are perfectly content. It's only when one of them is influenced by other individuals, as well as their own insecurities, that the relationship is thrown into jeopardy. Older couples will recognize many real-life factors at play here. The friend who's a bad influence, the other couple who can't stop arguing, and of course, the idea of what you're willing to let slide out of love. Enough Said is all about how little things like table manners can feel insignificant and earth-shattering depending on the day. The script is wonderful, meaningful, and funny as hell. There's a maid character who has a certain quirk that is like infinite comedy. This is a lovely little film with some actual potency for older couples, with a very genuine relationship to root for. If nothing else, you get to see Elaine date Tony Soprano. Pretty cool.
The fake cheekbones and the fake boobs. Do you like fake boobs?
No, I like real boobs.
Yeah, I got real boobs.
That's working out for us then.
Next is if you're watching with your BFF. This category was an idea for my girlfriend, and I figured, why not? Because it's an excuse to talk about Thelma and Louise. It's an excellent film for anybody, especially for a lot of modern writers who seem incapable of writing female characters. As far as a movie for women and their pals, it doesn't get much better. Susan Sarandon and Gina Davis do fantastic work here, and they make it evident that these are long-time friends. It's clear that these two actresses got along and understood their characters, because you never doubt their bond for a second. Their differences in personality make them stronger together, and this makes them such an engaging pair. What I really love is that for all its emotional moments, it never feels corny. The script shows us how loyal they are to each other, how much they depend on each other, without having to literally say it over and over. I am so happy that the director fought to keep a certain moment in the movie, a powerful example of love through friendship. Even though I'm a guy, I'm not deaf to the common concern of women not being able to trust one another, and the loyalty between these two women, even on the dark path they travel, is something to celebrate. So while you and your best friend may not rob a liquor store together or hook up with Brad Pitt and Michael Madsen, there's a good chance you'll appreciate the fun and friendship of Thelma and Louise.
Get on that radio, you're going to find out that we're wanted in 2 states and probably considered armed and dangerous. At least I am. And then our whole plan is just going to be all shot to hell. Louise, take his gun. Take his gun, Louise. Right there.
Right. I'm real sorry.
Excuse me. Want to step out of the car, please?
Second to last on the list is for a group of friends, and that's Dinner in America. This one blew me away. It's like if the zany, oddball worlds of John Waters were dropped into an active mosh pit. Dinner in America is punk in every aspect. Its music, its pacing, but mostly its rebellious nature. Our two leads are a wild couple of misfits. One is an angry criminal in the making who only cares about upholding punk virtues. The other is an off-kilter loner with repressed desires and rage, and on so much medication that her prescription list can be unscrolled. There's a lot to like in terms of filmmaking. However, what I love the most is just how fearless the movie is. These are weird people, and not like, ooh, I'm so quirky, I like Ringo the most, I've got a hamburger phone, I can't walk without falling over, tee-hee. I mean that they can barely function in society. The result is a movie that gives no damns, shits, or fucks, and like the music our characters are obsessed with, is actively trying to shake things up. It is a blast. This isn't a realistic story, and the acting will seem very odd at first. But the movie knows this, and doesn't take itself seriously. Once you settle in, you will laugh and shout and maybe even say, "Aww," at this bizarre yet adorable couple causing a total ruckus.
Especially her!
Where's the goddamn paycheck?
I told Patty I put in the mail at the end of the week.
It is the end of the week!
I want my motherfucking check!
Blah!
And finally is a movie for anyone who's single, and I'm going with Rear Window. This might seem like an ill-fitting choice, for on the surface, this is a thriller, where a wheelchair-bound man and eventually his girlfriend try to solve a murder. Yet there's a consistent romance plot running through this. The relationship we follow is a marvel. They are total contrasts. Jeffries is a stubborn photojournalist who desires freedom above all else, and Lisa Fremont is a charming socialite with one of the most iconic outfits in film history. The former doesn't think they have a future, and the other yearns for it. What ends up bringing the two even closer together, what convinces Jeffries that their relationship might work, is their sleuthing. Rear Window shows a character that doesn't necessarily change her core nature for someone, or even change her interests, but she serves as a lovely reminder that people can always surprise you. When Lisa risks a very real threat to drop off a note and flutters back to the apartment, the look on Jeffrey's face is nothing short of beautiful. I think this is a solid recommendation for single people in that it doesn't neglect any audience, doesn't make you feel like you're missing the party. I also think it's especially good for singles because of the subtle lessons you can glean from it. Be true to yourself and your instincts, but leave your heart a little open for people to surprise you. Just because two individuals come from different backgrounds or social circles doesn't mean they can't connect through something else. Maybe it's art, maybe it's a sport, maybe it's a murder investigation.
Yeah.
The name on the second floor rear mailbox reads Mr. and Mrs. Lars. That's L-A-R-S. Lars Thorwald.
What's the number of the apartment house?
125 West 9th Street.
Well, thank you, dear.
Okay, Chief, what's my next assignment?
Just go home.